this is Kusum Wahi, your IELTS trainer from EduFolks. IELTS, of course, is a test of English language, and in fact I would say that it is not only a test of English language, but it is also a test of your logical thinking. Okay, so in case you are going for your IELTS speaking test, do keep these tips in mind. Now remember this, IELTS speaking test is a test of communicational skills, not about your general knowledge. Okay, we must focus on how rather than what. Now there are few questions that most of my students they ask me, hence I thought of answering it in this form of video. Some questions are, what if I don't have information about the subject? What do I do? Some question pops up where I have no idea about it. Well guys, as long as you're speaking confidently, you are on the right track. You can suggest your opinion in case of any doubt. For instance, you can say, well, thank you for asking me this particular question, but I fear I do not have much knowledge about this particular topic. Nevertheless, don't mind sharing my views on it. Or what I estimate about this particular question is, and you can elaborate your opinion. See, so it is not about what, it is about how. Even the information that you are not very sure of, there is a way you can answer the question. Okay. Next one, very important. What if I make a grammatical mistake? Well, grammatical mistakes are sin in IELTS. Okay. However, if you have realized your mistake, then do correct it immediately. There is no harm repeating your lines with the corrected version. So guys, remember, in case you have identified your mistake, immediately go back and you can correct it. You will not be penalized for it. Okay. Next question is, can I tell a lie? Well, going back to my first question, if you see, IELTS is all about your communication, okay, and not about testing your universal information. As long as you are able to convince the examiner about your reply is perfectly fine, and that too in part 2 and part 3. Do not lie in part 1. Guys, do not lie in part 1. Part 1 is all about your personal information. Okay, so remember, part 2 and part 3 is okay as long as you are able to convince the examiner, but in part 1, do not take a chance. Next one is about your speed. What about my speed? What kind of speed should be there? Well, as speakers, we all speak as per our audience, right? Imagine your tone when you talk to a baby or a friend or your colleague or your boss. Does the manner change? Indeed, you modify your language and speed as per your listener, right? Hence, when speaking to the examiner, don't be too slow and don't be too fast. Make sure your examiner is able to understand you without asking for repetition. And once again, remember one more thing, that is not important what you speak. What is important is what the examiner hears. Okay? So it's not important what you speak. It's what is important is what the examiner gets it, or what the examiner hears. So guys, I hope these tips you will remember before going for your IELTS speaking test. Thank you very much and all the best for your IELTS examination. Good luck.